Hola, soy yo, Vicky, otra vez. ¿Cómo estamos? ¿Todo bien? Espero que sí. Vale, ok. So en el video de hoy vamos a hacer número 12 en el serie de videos para comprobar tu nivel de español. Okay, so in today's video, we're going to do video 12 in testing your level of Spanish in comparison with GCSE. Y hoy vamos a mirar el imperfecto y pluperfecto, the imperfect and the pluperfect. So the imperfect is things we used to do or we were doing, and the pluperfect or the pluscamperfecto in Espanol are things we had done. So, as usual in this video, this is not a video to learn those tenses. This is a video presuming that you already know those tenses and it's to test your knowledge of them. So, if you don't know those tenses, in the description box, I will put in the link to the relevant videos on my YouTube channel that deal with those particular subjects, so you can brush up on there. Also, if you have the Break the Language Barrier Level 2 book, that is where you will find these tenses explained, which I've got one, but it's propping up my computer at the moment. So it's Break the Language Barrier Level 2, where you will find the details of how to make these tenses. And I will put the page numbers in the description box as well. If the new Level 2, the updated Level 2 book. Okay, so that's where you can find how to make them on the videos or in the book. As I say, I'm presuming that for the purpose of this video, you need to already know them. This is just to practice them, not to learn them. Okay, so if you've done these videos before, you will know that you need a pen and a piece of paper because you need to do these translations. I will hold up the English and then you can either freeze the video or write them down or freeze the video and look at them on the video on the screen and then translate them. Then I will read you out the answers and we'll see how you did. As we go through, we'll explain a little bit about the tenses. So we're looking at the imperfect first, el imperfecto. So, as I said, the imperfect is the tense that we use to talk about things we used to do in Spanish or we were doing. These are past, finished actions, but they're repeated actions in the past, whereas the preterite in the previous video are singular actions in the past at a specific point in time. The imperfect are serial or repeated actions, if you like, in the past, or with no specific beginning or end. Okay, so these are our 7 questions using the imperfect, or 7 sentences to translate. Now, the good thing about this tense is the easiest past tense to remember because there are only 3 irregular verbs, which are ser, ir, and ver. Apart from those 3 verbs, every other verb follows the pattern, the regular pattern. So there's a little clue. Okay, numero uno, I was looking through the window. Número 2, she was eating paella. Número 3, we were living in Valencia. Número 4, I was going to visit Spain. Número 5, he was my friend. Número 6, they could see the sea from the balcony. And número 7, I used to work in Spain. Okay, those are your English sentences. I'll hold that up if you want to freeze the video now. And then in a moment, I will be reading the Spanish. Okay. So, número uno. See how much shorter they are in Spanish. I mean, it took me nearly the whole page to write the English ones out. But in Spanish, sentences are so much shorter. So, número uno. Miraba por la ventana. Now, we might want to put in the yo there because the first and third person singular in this tense are exactly the same. So probably better to put in the yo there because miraba could be I was looking or he or she was looking. So yo miraba por la ventana. Same with número dos, comía paella. So I've forgotten what it is now. So she was. So we might want to put in the ella. I mean, sometimes when you're speaking, it's evident who you're talking about, so you still don't need to put it in. But if in just a one-off sentence like this, obviously we wouldn't know. Ella comía paella. So remember that the AR verbs have the aber endings and the ER and IR verbs have these ER endings. Número tres, we used to live or we lived in Valencia. When we don't know exactly when somebody lived there, vivíamos en Valencia. Número cuatro, iba a visitar España. So who's this? I was going to visit Spain. So yo iba a visitar España. Probably better to put in the yo. Número 5, era mi amigo. He was my friend. So él era mi amigo. Número 6, podían ver el mar del balcón. They could see the sea from the balcony. So podían. We don't need to put AOs in there because it can only be they. And the last one, trabajaba. I used to work in Spain, so yeah, we might want to put in the yo. Yo trabajaba en España. So I call this the Alibaba tense because the AR verbs always end in the abas, but of course you have to remember that the ER and IR are EAs. Okay, so now we're going to look at the pluperfect. So pluperfect or pluscuamperfecto is had done. Whatever we had done is the past of the past. And again, as I say, what was I saying? Oh yeah, this is not to teach you how to make that tense. It is, but I will put the videos that refer to this tense in the description box, and it is in level 2, Break the Language Barrier level 2, which you can buy on any Amazon site or through me. Okay, so number 1, someone had stolen my bicycle. Number 2, I had visited her already. Number 3, she had never eaten paella. Número 4, they had never seen Valencia. Número 5, what had you done? Número 6, we had broken it. Y número 7, he had put it on the table. So a few pronouns in there as well. Okay, so there's your English. I don't have to repeat that for you. I'll just hold it up and you might want to freeze it so that you can translate them in your own time. And I'll be back in a moment with the Spanish. Okay. So to make this tense, we take the auxiliary verb haber. So we don't use tener for had or have, do we? We use haber, which is explained on the video or in the book. And we use it in the imperfect tense. So here we go. Número 1. Alguien había robado mi bicicleta. So when we're using someone, that would be a he or a she, so we use the ending for he or she. Alguien había robado mi bicicleta. Third person singular. Número 2. Ya le había visitado. I had already visited him or her. So we're using le because it's a person. You could use lo or la as well because it's a direct object pronoun, but I would always advise using le when you're referring to him or her. It's just easier that way. Y número 3, nunca había comido paella. Yeah, she had, so you might want to put the ella in. Ella nunca había comido paella. They had never seen Valencia. Is it seen or visited? Quite often I do make little mistakes, as you may have noticed. No, seen. It is seen. I should have more faith in myself. But we all make mistakes, don't we? So, nunca habían visto Valencia. Now, I noticed here we've got regular participles with robado, visitado, comido, and then we're coming into the irregular participles. I obviously want you to know the irregular participles. Same with number 5. What had you done? ¿Qué habías hecho? Hecho is such an important participle. It comes up so often from the verb hacer, to do or make. Número 6. Lo habíamos roto. It we had broken. So pronoun there, and remember the pronoun goes in front of a conjugated verb, and roto is the past participle of romper. It is irregular. Y número 7, lo había puesto en la mesa. So again, puesto is the irregular past participle for poner. So not ponido, puesto. Lo había puesto en la mesa. Ya, vale, está. Muy bien. So, how did you do? Let me know how you're doing. I think there's only one more. Might be possibly be 2 more. So we're going to look at the future tense, the different ways of expressing the future. There's 2. So then there's the conditional. So only 2 more videos left to do on this test of the GCSE. How are you doing? Let me know if you get the chance. Okay, so don't forget, also I have a new channel now, which I will put the link in the description box. This channel, to be honest, it's just for, in a way, it's just to do things that I think are interesting and that you might find interesting, but are nothing to do with learning Spanish or English. So there's only one video on there so far. That's a video about Meghan and Harry, my opinion on that situation. You may agree, you may disagree. Anyway, I just hope you find it interesting. We'll be doing another thing. So I quite like to do things that are currently in the news that I find interesting. I feel like I've got an opinion on it, which I have an opinion on most things, but that's good. Yeah, and the next video I will be doing, which I'll be doing soon, sometime over the weekend, is about women's safety, because of course we've had this tragic news this week of the young girl that was found, unfortunately, though they haven't actually formally identified the poor girl. It looks like it is her, so it's caused this you know, a big, what can we say, big conversation about women's safety, and I do have some thoughts on that, being a woman, and I'll be interested to know what you think. So that will be my next video on the other channel. Okay, vale. Muchas gracias por mirar y que tu Dios vaya contigo. Y te veo en el próximo video. Muchas gracias. Hasta luego. Cuídate. Adiós.